Today is Amelie's first visit to Brazil. We're going to the Brazilian consulate, which is technically Brazilian territory. Yeah, she needs to get a passport. She's kind of Brazilian. If she wants to, she's Brazilian. She needs to make a decision in the future. It's cheaper to get a Brazilian passport than to get a Brazilian visa on her Australian passport, so. 15 minutes later, everything is done. I've never seen anything like it. Now I'm walking to the car because I'm gonna drive to work, and Shelly and Amelie are gonna stay around the city, probably have lunch around here before they go home. And Shelly's visa, this is unbelievable. I actually don't believe it. I sent her passport and form and all the stuff yesterday using same-day service because the website said it may take up to 15 days, working days, for it to be ready. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're cutting a bit short. I better just send same days. The visa was ready. They literally got it at 1 p.m. yesterday. And what the heck? She took her visa with her. Unbelievable. It's Brazil for you. Overseas, only overseas. Because in Brazil, it's not like that at all. I just spent the last 5 minutes trying to figure out which level I parked. I got it right now. And then this car park is like half public car park, but it's also car park of people who work around here. And then there's people like, are you lost? You look lost. Story of my life. A few years ago, many years ago, before I had my Australian citizenship, I went to the US Embassy in the city to renew my tourist visa on my Brazilian passport. And just like the Brazilian consulate, it is in a building, just in the office building in the city. Except that the US Embassy had a reception downstairs, and you couldn't take anything with you. You had to leave everything at the reception and do some security screening or something before you could actually take the lifts to go upstairs. And then a security guard escorted you to a lift that I think was only for the use of the US Embassy, even though the building has like many floors and they only use like I don't know how many. And then when you get to the floor, there's a reception area, like not a reception, it's just an entrance, and the walls are like metal thick walls, I suppose, because there was someone behind like acrylic glass, like very thick, that would look at you and decide to open a button that would open a massive metal door to let you in the area where you actually talk to someone. Super high security. The Brazilian consulate is similar. It's an office building. You go and catch a lift by yourself and you get there, the door is open. It's unattended because there's no one there. It's great stuff. Today is Wednesday. I feel like I haven't done a Weaknessday. I don't feel like I haven't done a Weaknessday in a long time. I might do one today, but first I'm gonna go home. Also, I have to stop somewhere and get food because my friend Maddie's coming over. We're gonna watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And last time she came over, I cooked and we started watching really late, and then we ended watching really late, and everything is really late. So today I'm gonna cut that time by buying food, and the food will be ready. No, okay, I thought there was a car coming, so I need to do that. Alright, I got dinner, and I might have also joined the gym as I was waiting. What? Oi? Yeah. My friend Maddie was here. We watched a few episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You might remember Maddie from segments such as... what is the segment called? Corinne, Maddie and Corinne? I don't know, just watch the video.
Welcome to the Corinne and Maddie show. Hello.
That segment. And then she went home, and then I did nothing for too much time. Much more than I wanted to. I'm gonna have a shower. Today I get to wash my hair, which is always a good thing. Put more purple shampoo on it until it turns purple. Last time my hands turned purple after, handling it. It's fun stuff. And then after the shower, I think I'm gonna have a seat, set up some lights because the lighting here is just disgusting, and talk about a weakness again because I haven't done that in I think a long time. In today's Weaknessday, I'm going to talk about how I'm really bad at finishing things. I often have incredible, extremely convoluted ideas, and they would be amazing if I actually worked on them and did them. Look, it's midnight now, and see? It's 13 past midnight now. Probably one of the reasons why it took me so long to start making this video, even though I knew I was gonna talk about this from the beginning of today, not when I woke up, but like through the day. It's because thinking of all the things that I want to do and I haven't done yet is not necessarily happy. But it's Weaknessday after all. I need to talk about a weakness. To explain about today's weakness, I'm going to tell you a story. So it's story time, but unlike other story times that you see on YouTube, this is actually completely real. I'm not being drama or anything. This is actually real. So Ian, before you come to a meetup and try to take a photo with me telling me to say the N-word, this is a real story. And by the way, if you came to a meetup and tried to take a photo with me, I would be like, Oh my gosh, Ian, I'm a massive fan. Let's take a photo together. If you don't know who Ian is, iDubbbz TV, Ian. Anyway, I'm getting distracted in this whole thing. Back to the story time. Back to the weakness. I mentioned to you before that I did triathlon in Brazil just a couple of years before I came to Australia. I think when I was 17 I started. And during that time I was actually full on like training a lot and running. I love running. When was the last time I run? I don't know, but I really like running. Also, I really like reading books. When was the last time I read a book? I've been trying to read books through Audible in the car, so like listening to books when I'm driving. And the current book is kind of a very deep non-fiction book, and I get distracted so easily. It's just, at least I get the general idea. But anyway, as part of my triathlon training, I also run a marathon, 42.200 something 8 kilometers, and I was really excited about running this marathon. Like I trained. Here's some photos. This photo is at the start of the marathon. The guy that holds the horn thingy, that's Brazilian, what's his name? It's the marathon runner who almost won gold in one of the Olympic Games, but this guy jumped in front of him and then he lost his rhythm. But for this marathon, I trained so much. To run a marathon properly, it is all this training you need to do beforehand. You know, you need to run a lot, and then you gradually increase the distance you're training, and then just before the marathon, a couple of weeks before the marathon, you slow down a little bit, so you rest. So there's this whole training stuff that I did, and I was really excited. I was gonna nail it, except that the week before I injured my foot, one of the tendons on my foot, and it was really painful the entire time that I was running the marathon. It was painful. And then you got to kilometer 33, 35 or something, and I decided to do the most stupid thing you can do when you're running a marathon, which is to stop, just to take a little break. Everything in my body got cold, all my muscles got cold, and the pain just came back in a way I can't remember, but it was painful. But I finished the marathon. I walked the last 7 kilometers or so. It was the worst, the most painful walk of my life, but I finished the marathon. But why am I telling a story of something that I actually finished? To give an example of how I am terrible at finishing things. I want to run another marathon. In fact, I've been wanting to run the Sydney Marathon since I moved to Sydney 10 years ago. It's in September, actually same time as VidCon. Let's just make sure that it's not the same time as VidCon. Marathon is 17th of September, and I think VidCon is a different time. Yeah, 9 and 10th of September. So VidCon is the week before. Perfect. But almost every year it comes to July or August, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the Sydney Marathon, can I run it this year? Now July is 2 months before the marathon. Maybe I could, I don't know. I don't want to try, to be honest, because I will like injure myself completely. See, here's the thing. I have all these things I want to do, all these ideas I want to do. I want to write a book for Amelie. Just thinking about it makes me sad. There's so many things I want to do, and I'm incapable of finishing them. Maybe I'm not incapable, it's very difficult. I'm very good at having these insane, amazing, very difficult, and if they're done properly, awesome ideas. But when it comes to realizing them, to making them happen, I lack a little bit. But here we are on YouTube, and I've been making daily videos for more than 200 days now. It's 21 past midnight. I actually talked really well and did this really quickly. But the reason why when I finish recording this video and I'm gonna sit into my computer and actually not go to sleep until I finish editing this video is because this is something that I will finish today. Every day I've been finishing something. Probably one of the things that drive me to actually make a video every day is that I'm terrible at finishing things, but I can at least finish this. I can finish this. But for a few months now, I feel like I need to take that drive to other things that I want to finish and actually achieve in my life. As I told you, I signed up for this gym. It didn't just happen today in the spur of the moment. I've been thinking about this for a while. This is the same gym that Dan goes to. You love Dan, don't you? Well, I love Dan too. This gym requires a 12-month contract, which means that for the next 12 months, I need to go to the gym. Otherwise, I'm going to be wasting money. So here's a great incentive for me to, number one, include Dan in my vlogs more, because we're going to go to the gym together from time to time. And some of you are cheering over there. And I'm going to write a comment saying, yes, more Dan, love Dan. Number two, to actually run more and hopefully run the Sydney Marathon this year. I've been talking about it for 10 years. Maybe this year is the time that I'll actually run it and not just talk about it. But I also really want to make that book that I want to make for Emily. Alright, let's think about one thing at a time, otherwise I'm gonna just get overwhelmed. Sorry, I said that was not gonna be drama, but here's the drama. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the weakness, and I need to overcome this. I need to get better at finishing things. And talking about it, is already a good step into making that happen. What about you? Do you relate to any of this? Do you have any things that you want to do that you have been thinking about doing for a long time if you haven't done it yet? Let me know in the comments. I love the interaction we have in this channel through the comments, through Twitter, through Snapchat, Instagram, smoke signal, Morse code. And before I go, I have one more thing to ask you. I'm gonna be doing a talk at work about YouTube. It's a 1-hour talk and I want to talk about my experience on YouTube, but I also want to talk about YouTube in general. You know, there's lots of people that only know YouTube for videos that, oh, how do I do this? And they go and search stuff like that, but they don't understand that there's an incredible, ridiculous community of various different types of people on YouTube. You can find all sorts of videos. Oh, and trust me, some of them you don't wanna see because you're so weird. But if you follow H3 Productions or iDubbbz, you probably seen the worst of the internet and their wonderful reactions to it. As you can see, I'm a big fan. I talk about them all the time. Ethan, if you're watching this, let's collab one day, okay? I'll come to your house. I'll climb over your balcony. I don't mind if the front door doesn't work. I'll come on a drone. I'll dig a hole and go underground. I don't know, but invite me and I'll be there. But anyway, back to what I was gonna ask you. I'm getting distracted a lot today, ain't I? Do you have any suggestions? What do you think would be good topics about YouTube to tell people who might not understand this whole crazy reality of YouTube? If you have any ideas, please do let me know. But yeah, that's where I leave you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Especially you, Ethan. Hey.
She's staring at me.